The last echo of the priest's words faded into the cold evening air. Ethan stood silently, gripping his father's hand like a lifeline. His mother lay beneath the polished wood, far too quiet, too still. She used to hum lullabies while brushing his hair, laughter tucked into every note. Now, all that remained were fading memories and the aching silence. The wind whispered through the trees, as if mourning with them. Ethan didn't cry at first, not until the first clump of soil hit the casket. He turned his face into his father's coat, unable to watch. Somewhere deep inside, something shifted. A quiet, haunting need to understand. Days passed in a fog, time melting into quiet sorrow. Ethan wandered the house, drawn to places he wasn't supposed to go. The attic door creaked open like a secret long held. Dust motes floated in the light as he climbed the ladder. The space was filled with silence and scent of cedar and thyme. In a forgotten chest, he found an old journal, cracked leather, bound with a red ribbon. His mother's handwriting danced across the first page. Her voice echoed in his mind as he turned the pages. Then, a folded map slipped free and fluttered to the floor. Ethan spread the map wide on the attic floor. Its corners curled from age, the ink faded but still legible. There were rivers, trails, cryptic notes, and a bold red X. The name Bramble Lake circled near the edge stirred a memory. He had never been there, not in waking life. But the name scratched at something familiar. A note in the margin read, "Ethan, when the time comes, follow this. Trust your heart. Ye me?" It was her handwriting, meant for him. He didn't yet know what he was searching for, only that he must. That evening, Ethan pored over books in the family study. He searched atlases and dusty guides until he found it. Bramble Lake, remote, surrounded by dense forest. Just as the map described. The trails marked weren't on any modern maps. Someone had drawn this from memory or experience. Every line felt deliberate, filled with secrets. His mother's secrets. He traced the path again, whispering, "Why didn't you tell me?" Before dawn, Ethan packed his bag in silence. The map was safely tucked between books in his satchel. He left a note for his father, short, vague, apologetic. The floorboards creaked as he tiptoed past memories. Outside, the cold air kissed his cheeks awake. He stood still, just once, looking back at the house, then turned toward the road leading north, toward Bramble Lake, toward whatever truth his mother had hidden in those trees. Ethan followed the dirt road until it melted into forest. The map guided him through trees older than memory. Birdsong fluttered above him, oddly comforting. Sunlight streamed in shafts, painting the path gold. He walked carefully, the trail thin and wild. Every bend brought a mix of fear and wonder. He could almost hear her voice in the wind. "You're close, Ethan. Diana. Tree. Dei. Play. Ta." He whispered it like a mantra, keeping his courage intact. By mid-morning, Ethan reached a clearing. There stood a single stone, ancient, worn, alive with mystery. Symbols etched deep into its face matched the map. He knelt, running his fingers across the grooves. Here, something had been marked long ago. A waypoint. A guardian stone. His heart drummed in his ears. "She was here," he murmured. The past wasn't gone. It waited. Past the stone, a trail emerged, faint and narrow. Branches reached like fingers, pulling at his sleeves. The map showed this as the final stretch. Ethan pressed forward, ducking under limbs. The forest thickened, and shadows grew bolder. Still, he walked. Each step was a promise to her memory. To find what she left behind. To know the truth she never got to tell. The trees parted, revealing something forgotten. A cottage, nearly swallowed by green. Ivy draped over windows, and moss crowned its roof. Ethan stood still, breath held tight. It was the place. Not just on the map, but in her stories. He stepped forward, the air buzzing with memory. Each creak of the floorboards beneath was like a whisper. He was no longer just her son. He was her legacy. Inside, silence lay thick and undisturbed. Ethan explored with reverent care. Paintings hung crooked, blankets eaten by time. But then, a loose floorboard creaked differently. He knelt, pried it up. Below, a small wooden chest waited, its metal latch cold and stiff. He opened it, breath caught. Letters. Dedi. Anamawel. Damdane say. Radher Oru. Tanden Doade. Badar. Photographs. A sealed envelope with his name. Ethan unfolded the envelope slowly, hands unsure. Inside, a letter addressed in his mother's gentle script. Her words unfolded like a voice from the past. She spoke of secrets, of choices, of love wrapped in silence, of a betrayal that shattered trust within the family, of land stolen, memories buried, and how he was the only one who could reclaim them. "If you're reading this," she wrote, "you're ready." Tears blurred his sight. This was her final gift. He searched the room anew, the letter now a guide. Her words hinted at more. Beneath the ashes of our past. Ethan examined the fireplace, sweeping away dust. His fingers caught on a metal latch tucked behind loose stone. It clicked. A hidden compartment groaned open, stale air escaping. Inside, a trapdoor. He grabbed a nearby candle and descended slowly. The light trembled, but so did his hope. The steps led to a chamber carved from earth and stone. Cold air wrapped around him, thick with history. Symbols and names lined the walls. The crest of his family etched in the center. This wasn't just a room. It was a tomb of truth. Artifacts rested on pedestals, long untouched. He moved slowly, reverent. This was his inheritance, the beginning of understanding everything she never told him. At the center stood a stone altar. On it, a velvet-lined box called to him. His hands hovered, then lifted the lid. Inside lay a journal and a pendant, the same symbol as the one on the map. He opened the journal to find entries by someone else, his grandmother. She too had followed a trail, one unfinished. A story of sorrow, justice, and love. Now it was his to finish. He placed the pendant around his neck and swore to follow it through. Ethan climbed back into the cottage as dawn crept in. The light was different now, softer, warmer. He felt different too. Not older, exactly, but rooted. He now carried not just grief, but knowledge, and a purpose. The world outside still held questions, but inside, something vital had awakened. He was ready for what came next. He left the cottage behind, heart full and heavy. The forest seemed brighter, alive with purpose. Each step away from the past was a step into meaning. He had answers now, and questions too. But above all, he had a path. The pendant against his chest was warm. It pulsed with memory, with her love. She had led him here. Now he had to lead himself forward. The house came into view just as the sun climbed high. His father stood on the porch, eyes wide with relief and questions. Ethan slowed, unsure how to explain. But the look on his father's face changed. From fear to understanding. He saw the pendant, the new posture in his son. No words were needed. He opened his arms, and Ethan stepped into them. They sat together at the old kitchen table. Ethan laid out the journal, map, and letter. He told the story, every part of it. His father listened, silent and still. When it ended, he reached for the journal. Tears welled in his eyes. "She never told me," he whispered. Ethan placed a hand on his. But she told us now. Yee. Weeks later, they stood before the town. Old faces, young ones, all curious. Ethan and his father shared the truth of stolen land, forgotten rights, of family ties and broken trust. The journal and letter spoke volumes. People listened, moved. Some wept. The past had finally come to light. Spring came. The tree by the cemetery was full of leaves. Ethan sat beneath it, a journal in his lap. He drew a map, his own, of what he had seen, felt, discovered, of the paths she led him through, of the future he now shaped. Her voice lingered in the breeze. You found it, Ethan. You found us. Shy.